Hey, can I get one of you two to help me out?
Does Commando need help interrogating this guy?
No, I just need help with someone calming down Commando.
Why won't he talk? What kind of loyalty is Surfer Dude instilling in these things? I even waterboarded him and he still wouldn't budge. What the hell do I have to do?
Shh, it's okay. The solution will come to us in time. I'll help. Peanuts, are you sure about that?
I'm not gonna lie, he's a pretty tough nut to crack.
Oh, don't worry, I'm an elephant, and if there's anything I know how to do, it's how to crack a tough nut. Evening, governor. My name is Dr. Nutty McNuttison Peanuts. How can I help you today? I'm here to interrogate you.
Do whatever you want to me. I'll never tell you anything. You and your goddamn creator can suck my dick.
Is that right? Well, it's funny you should bring up creators, because here's a fun fact for you. Not all the gents were made by the same person. My creator, in fact, was a girl who instilled with me a different set of personality traits, positive attitudes, and different moral high grounds. Would you like to see what I mean? Today, while the blossoms still cling to the vine, I'll taste your strawberry, I'll drink your sweet wine. A million tomorrows shall all pass away. There I forget all the joy that is mine today.
I'm scared.
Alan, we're all scared. Not me, of course. I'm not scared.
This is Sweet and Smokey. The episode begins at Twilight's Academy as Smolder's trying to ask a week off from school because she needs to go back to the Dragonlands for something. Turns out her brother's having a tough time since she left, and Spike is more than willing to come with her in order to help cheer him up. Twilight is, of course, concerned that she doesn't want her to skip school because, one, why would anyone want to skip school? And two, she doesn't want to make her the trip alone because the Dragonlands are very far away. But when Fluttershy hears that there's maybe baby dragons involved, Fluttershy is, of course, immediately tempted to want to go see the baby dragons and, God damn it, Fluttershy, leave the rainbow face to Rainbow!
I can't stay mad at her, that's adorable.
Well, after Fluttershy makes her best rainbow face, Twilight is, of course, obligated to agree and allows the three of them to go. So, Smolder reveals some backstory that her brother does have trouble making friends, mostly because dragons don't do friends in the past. But she was his best friend growing up, and that they would love him and that he's exactly like Spike. He's Garble. He has to be fucking Garble. There's no other way it could possibly end without her brother being Garble.
Well, there's still more to the episode. It could not be Garble.
There's only 3 dragons that we know of that are male in the show. One of them is Spike, one of them is Garble, and the last one is this guy. Well, Fluttershy breaks from the pack as she wants to go visit the baby dragons immediately. She comes across the eggs, and then of course Princess Ember, who is having problems with the eggs because she's never actually done this before, and Fluttershy of course immediately wants to help. But Ember is still pretty confused that the eggs should have hatched by now and she doesn't know what's wrong, and Fluttershy, well, she just does her best.
And that's all we can expect from Best Pony.
Leave favorite ponies out of the conversation. I do not want to get into that debate. Well, Spike is in the middle of preparing a gift for Smolder's brother when who should show up but Garble and his boys, who proceed to, of course, immediately torment Spike because he was raised by ponies and ponies are gay. But Spike doesn't take it as much as he used to, considering how much they grow up, and they still tease him for it though. Soon Smolder shows up, and of course, we find out that Smolder and Garble are brother and sister.
Oh, is that right? Well, I sure hope somebody picks up that phone, because I f***ing called it!
Well, right away we get to see that Garble isn't as big of the ringleader of the dragon bullies as he used to be, as they're making fun of him. But Smolder stands up for her brother, and says that Spike is here to help cheer him up. But of course she seems oblivious to the fact that he bullies Spike, and of course is forced to agree because he wants to protect his image and doesn't want her to know that he's Spike's bully. So the three of them decide to hang out together. Spike is of course unsure about this, but agrees because he's a nice guy. So they go to a lava pit in order to have a swim. Spike at least genuinely tries to make things up with Garble, but Garble immediately slaps it right back in his face. And of course, plays it off like it was some sort of joke. So I'm confused. Is this a Garble redemption arc?
Sounds like it. After all, they've done similar things before.
Yeah, but even for quick villain redemptions, Gargle still sounds like a stretch.
Well, it's actually Garble, not Gargle, but I can see how you get that mispronounced. Anyway, I can at least forgive them somewhat. But yeah, you're right. Garble is very much a stretch. A very big stretch for redemption.
Well, we cut back to Fluttershy, who's still doing her best and reading to the dragon eggs. But Ember says that this might not help because they're still not hatching. And she also makes a note that the eggs are some reason shaking a bunch, and she doesn't understand why. But of course, anyone who's watching this could obviously tell
They're not shaking, they're shivering. They're dragon eggs. They're probably cold. Okay, but I will say, in Ember's defense, when you're in a place that's constantly hot, you don't necessarily notice when temperature changes, at least right away. I speak from experience.
Well, we cut back to Smolder, Spike, and Garble is just refusing every single attempt that Spike has on trying to make friends with him. Like, honestly, I don't really see this redemption happening at all. But when some of Garble's friends come up, he completely ditches Spike, and Smolder joins him. But Spike stays behind, and in comes Fluttershy, as they explain both of their situations. And so they decide to switch places. Spike goes after the eggs, and Fluttershy goes after Garble, who proceeds to chuck lava at the two of them. Yeah, and he doesn't stop. And Fluttershy is mad. Give me a quick sec, I need to make a call. Hey, Big Daddy D, hey, this is Gent. Yeah, it's been a long time no see. Anyway, I should probably let you know that there's a couple of dragon pumps in the Dragon Valley throwing balls of lava at Fluttershy. So, just do what you will with that information. Aw, he turned them into pansies. Well, even with Fluttershy intervening, it's still gonna be a very big long shot for her to reach Garble. So she gets her game face on. She's going to be killing him with all her kindness. Meanwhile, Ember is still doing her best to hatch the eggs, and Spike comes in order to help out. But then Spike notices that it's awfully cold, and somehow he is made aware that dragon eggs only hatch in super heat. Ember realizes this and tries to figure out where all the heat's going.
Well, I sure hope somebody picks up that phone, because I f***ing called.
Wow, 2 for 2 we use that meme.
Well, Fluttershy chases after Garble, only to discover that Garble is playing the bongos and doing some weird poetry beats in front of Smolder. And then it cuts back to Ember and Spike as they realize where all the heat's going. The idiot dragons have been emptying the lava pools in order to have their own private lava springs, even though that lava should be used to make the eggs hot. So the younglings are forced to repair their damages, but they don't believe they can get all the lava back in time to save the eggs. So it's a big question, what do they do now?
Well, that depends. How hot is dragon fire?
Speaking of Dragonfire, Garble looks like he's about to lay into Fluttershy, but Fluttershy attacks with kindness, and he has no idea how to respond to that. And she even goes as far as to lay down some sick beats of her own. Who knew Fluttershy was a poet? Well, Smolder straight up says that her brother has talent, but the only reason he was so depressed is because she wasn't home for him to play his poems to, and she's the only one who actually listens, because he's so sensitive about his masculinity as well as his ego that he doesn't want to play in front of the other dragons. But Fluttershy's trying to piece together that this is the reason why he picks on Spike. And Smolder finds out she lays down the law, but he still suffers no real consequences. Except for Fluttershy smack-talking him, saying that she and Spike are the brave ones, and he's the coward for hiding who he truly is. Yeah, that face is the face of, please help me, sis. I would call Discord again, but honestly, I think she got this covered. Well, Princess Ember has all the dragons trying to breathe fire on the eggs in order to get them hot. But it doesn't seem to be working because the dragon fire just isn't hot enough. Spike says there must be a way to help out, but the dragon idiots start picking on him again. And I'm wondering, how stupid are these three? You're picking on him in front of Smolder, the dragon who nearly beat you up, the princess of dragons herself, and the worst one, Fluttershy. Do you really want to piss her off? Well, while they're laughing at Spike, Garble notices that the dragon's fire changes color and realizes that their laughing fire might burn hot enough to hatch the eggs. But how does he get them to laugh? By laying down some sick beats. The dragons start laughing at him so hot that the eggs actually hatch from the blue flames. And Garble saves the day. This really doesn't redeem him in my eyes.
Yeah, and we'll explain why after the vid.
So the dragon idiots start making fun of Garble for having such a non-masculine hobby, but Ember lays down the law and tells them that he saved their kind, and that their differences shouldn't be mocked, but celebrated, and even asked to learn some tricks from Garble about poems, and he humbly agrees. And Fluttershy finally gets her time with the dragon babies. Because that's what this episode was all about. And that was Sweet and Smokey. I have really big mixed feelings on this one.
On one hand, we really like going back to the Dragonlands, and we were really interested in the dragon egg plot, even though we kind of predicted it all the way through.
But on the other hand, it was a Garble redeeming episode. And while we don't mind them trying to redeem Garble, at the end of the day, he still wasn't really all that redeemed, even though he was the one who saved the day.
And there's a few reasons for that. 1, he never apologized to Spike. At all. If he wants to redeem, that's a good step. If he doesn't apologize, he's still not redeemed. Number 2, he doesn't pay for any of his actions. He's done a lot of shit in the 9 seasons of My Little Pony, and some of these things are really terrible. From trying to smash phoenix eggs, to of course nearly trying to kill Spike. And even in this episode, he doesn't apologize or even get reprimands for anything he does. And he's treated as a hero.
Everything else in this episode worked, except for everything involving Garble. And since he was most of the episode's plot, that kind of makes it a bad episode.
I don't put this on a very high tier, especially compared to everything we've gotten so far this season. But considering this is the first really bad episode in the long series of episodes that we've gotten in Season 9, I'd say that's a pretty good achievement.
I agree. So, with that being said, we're the Cartoon Gentlemen, and... Hey guys, he's ready to be interrogated now! Oh, okay, can we come up? Oh sure, just let me put him back together. Please, make it stop! Make it stop!
Okay, so what's Surfer Dude up to?
He's trying to gather all the elements of harmony. He's trying to gather them all in the Infinity Gauntlet. He's planning something big.
Okay, this is getting serious.
But wait, he's attacking just random ponies on the street. Why doesn't he just go straight to the Twilight and the rest?
He's attacking smaller ponies. Won't attract as much attention. The ones that represent the elements just as much as the main 6 do.
Then what's his plan? What's he gonna do with them?
I don't know.
You better talk or I'll throw you back to the doctor!
No, please, I don't know. But wait, I do know his next target. It's the element of generosity. He's going to attack Finn the pony.
If what this guy says is true, then we gotta get to Finn's stat.
Right, it's time to organize some chaos.